This is Nadir Shah in Chicago, and you are watching my channel, Knowledge for Quality of Life. Friends, today, the topic I'm going to be discussing is very, very crucial and very important. And I believe that many of you who are seeking the answers, which I've been seeing those questions on many forums where I'm a member, and they have these questions, which I had questioned the same thing as a consumer back in 2021. And this is my journey that, how I found the answers and rectify the problems which I've been facing back in 2021. But before I go into that topic, I would like you to remind you, all of them who have subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you click the bell icon so that whenever I upload the video, you can get in timely manner. So let's get into the topic. Before 2021, I've mentioned to you guys that we've been always health conscious, and we've been maintaining our diet pretty well, but not as stringent criteria as we are now. But my wife has always been asking me that, whatever we are doing, how do we know that, we are at the optimum level or we are at the normal level? So there is no such test that, which can test all the micronutrients and all the vitamins, all the minerals, because I've been hunting those tests basically in the insurance literature, health insurance, which I'm covered with, and there's none, basically. The question came out when my wife has osteopenia, means her bone density on the DEXA scan is negative, few areas. And we've been concerned about it, how to stop it or how to reverse it eventually. And few criterias I came up with through the literature, scientific literature, that, make sure that, you eat enough calcium through the diet, vitamin D, vitamin K2, protein, and all that thing, because it's a bone matrix is 50% protein, bone collagen. So the main question was that, we've been taking vitamin K2 along with the D, which I have mentioned in my previous vlogs, and we've been taking 100 microgram, myself and my wife, both. We've been taking the same dosage. But there's no test for vitamin K2. As many of you are not probably aware that there is not a commonly available test. So I've been hunting, searching vividly, and came across two labs. One is Genova Diagnostic, and one is Vibrant Labs of America. I contacted them just to get K2 tested, because that was my main concern, that what is the K2 level in our blood. Make sure that K1 is different than K2, because many doctors can't even distinguish the difference between K1 and K2. Vitamin K1 is related to coagulation of the blood, and vitamin K2 is a vitamin K dependent proteins gets activated based on vitamin K2 status of your blood. And it's not abundantly available in food. The only food is pretty much abundantly available is natto. And many folks hate natto. It's a Japanese dish, which I have covered in separate vlog. And I've shown how I make my natto as well. So my main objective was to find out what is the K2 level in our blood. So I contacted them, and they said that, well, there is no K2 test as a separate test, but it's part of the micronutrient panel. And that's about close to $400 each, and it's not covered by insurance. But the main criteria was that you have to go through a doctor. And my doctor was not in that Vibrant Labs of America, which is based in California. So I had to hunt down another issue that, I have to find out which doctor I have to work with who can refer me to Vibrant Labs of America in California. So I found a doctor in Phoenix, Arizona. He's an integrative medicine doctor, and he prescribes Vibrant Labs of America for micronutrient panel testing. So in short, we went through them. We got tested, and after about 4 to 6 weeks, we got our results back in 2021. Along with this $400, I was given a half an hour free consultation with the expert based on our diet, whatever the shortfall was, and they gave me a report. So they gave me a half-hour consultation. They gave my wife half-hour consultation, and basically they went through the testing and the results, and showed us that where we are lagging and what we need to do. And the lady said that I see many reports day in and out, and your report is very, very good. And I said, why do you say that? And she said that you seems like eat very well-balanced diet, and it's pretty good. In all the areas, you are either normal or optimum, except one. And I was very curious to know what is that area. And I had a feeling, but I wanted to hear from her that one thing is going to be sure, that vitamin B3, which is niacin. Back in earlier, when my vitamin D level was short, my doctor in 2017 prescribed, gave me actually OTC, over the counter niacin, if I want to take it to increase my HDL, but I refused it. I said that I want to do it organically through food or diet. And this lady nutritionist consultant said that the only diet you need to add to your the only food you need to add to your diet is one item if you don't eat it. And I asked her, what is it? And she said that it's a liver, because you are lagging in B3 and B5. So basically, if you take about 3 ounces of liver twice a week, and that should provide you enough B complex, particularly in B3 and B5. So I remember those days when I was a little kid, my mom used to make goat liver for me, roasted goat liver without, overcooking it. And she would give me a couple of days a week. And I remember that, and my habit was gone, in the adulthood. I never ate liver. So I said, well, okay, we can incorporate that liver, and we'll look at it, after a year, retest it, and where our B3 and B5 is. But main thing was the eye-opening thing for me in that test, and she didn't have the answer for me either, was the vitamin K2 level. I came okay in vitamin K2, but my wife was a bit short. She was okay at the serum level. When I say serum level, means at the blood level, but at the blood cells, at the cellular level, she falls short. And that was a alarming point for me to think about it. Why? Because we are taking the same dosage, not knowing that we may be two different person. Of course, we are two different person, but genetically, I had no clue that why it was. So let me share my screen and come back, so that I wanted to show you what type of report. It's a 29-page long report, but I clipped it few pages just to share with you, so that you can see what I'm talking about. So here is the report. That's my report first. And you see that all the micronutrient. This is the lab name, Vibrant Labs of America, based in California, and these are all vitamins. This is my report. So basically, if you look at it, you have first column here at the blood serum level, and then the second one is white blood cells at the cellular level and red blood cells. So whichever case it applies, somewhere it's going to be shown at the white blood cells level, and somewhere it's going to be shown as a red blood cells level, wherever it applies. So these are all vitamins. So if you look at it here, B3, I'm okay at the serum level. It means blood level is fine, but by the time it reaches to the cells, I fell short. So the lower bound is 39.6 to 303.5, but I am 31.5. Now B5, at the serum level, I'm okay, but at the cellular level, I fall short. 2.5 is the lower bound. I'm at 2.4, so 1/10 of a point lower. And everything else, I'm okay. And in K2, if I want to show you here, this thing is related to, again, beef, carnitine. So I'm tad bit, 1/10 of a point lower. So basically, liver would take care of this thing because, animal product item has carnitine as well. So, and then if I go at the vitamins, it was above, I believe. Yeah, right here. So if you look at this vitamin K2, in this vitamin K2, I'm okay at the serum level, 4.07, range is 0.1 to 5.19, and at the cellular level, I am at 0.76, and the range is 0.1 to 0.89, which is pretty good. I'm in the probably upper bound mark. So I'm okay, at 100 microgram level, because, remember that, with vitamin D, as I mentioned in my previous vlogs, one has to take, it's a must. It's not a choice. It is a must to take vitamin K2. Now, when I go to my wife's number, and I'll show you in a bit that she is the same in B3 short, B5 short, and K2 she came short. She came at the cellular level, only 0.01, means it was not reaching at the cells level. Now, by the time, if it doesn't reach at the cells level, we cannot get the most out of the that vitamin K2 in activating the vitamin K dependent proteins. Now, I'll show you in a bit. I'll let you know that what are those proteins. So now you have to have enough this vitamin K2 at your blood level and at your serum level, at your and cellular level, so that it can get those vitamin K dependent proteins activated, so that it can function the way it's supposed to. So this was the initial trigger point that my question was why I came okay and my wife fell short. Now, remember that we both have different set of underlying cause. I had calcium progression, and vitamin K2 is very, very important for me as well, because one of the K-dependent protein is Matrix Gla Protein. So let me stop share screen here, and we can go back. So there are two proteins which are vitamin K dependent proteins. One is Matrix Gla Protein, and the second one is osteocalcin. Now, Matrix Gla Protein is the protein which avoids binding the calcium to the arteries. Basically, it doesn't let the calcium bind to the arteries or stick to the arteries, right? And then second one, osteocalcin protein, when it gets activated, now these two proteins needs to get activated to better function. Otherwise, it's not going to function the way they are supposed to. Now, osteocalcin, when it gets activated in the presence of K2, enough K2 at the serum and cellular level both, it can draw the calcium from your serum, and it's a calcium transporter to the bones. So now your calcium is not going to get deposited in the arteries or in the soft tissues. It's going to get to the bones where it's supposed to go, because calcium only belongs to two areas in our body. One is bone and the other one is our teeth. So it means that my wife was not making enough at the cell level. So this was the trigger point for me to hunt it down. It took me about 4 to 6 months to find out why, what is the reason. And I think there's not enough information, but by doing the vivid research, I came across a paper, and that paper I'm going to share with you in the description. And again, I have a request to all the viewers that when I upload any video, I put particular references in the description so that people like me who wants to, because I know a lot of people don't read the description, because I put a lot of references in easy language so that common people can understand. And you need a little bit effort, because nothing is going to come free. It took me years and years to understand anything, whether it be healthcare or personal finance or education or anything. Time is an essence. That's a part of the learning, because we all are on the learning curve. And this curve should be dynamic as we live on, right? It doesn't stop anywhere. So please read the description. So the paper I'm going to share here in the description, make sure that you read it. And the essence is that how K2 is related to the K-dependent proteins as well. There is a paragraph, small. It's a long paper, but it's down the line in the middle of the body of the paragraph. It says, and that gave me the answer which I've been hunting for so long. Now, at that time, I found out that there's such thing as APOE genotype, which I have mentioned in my previous vlogs. Until then, I had no idea about what the hell APOE genotype is. Then I started reading on it. So there are genotypes which we have inherited from mom and dad. So there are basically 3 copies, 2, 3, and 4. Then there is a combo, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, and 4, 4. So there are combination of 6 altogether. These are called APOE genotype alleles. So when I got tested, because when I found out in that paper that people who are APOE22, they clear vitamin K2 very slow. Particularly, their clearance rate is very slow. Now, 3 people are typical, neither slow nor fast. But 3, 4, and 4, 4 people, so people who carry APOE, 1 copy of 4 or double copy of 4, they clear their vitamin K2 from the body pretty fast. It means that the dosage which I've been taking as 100 microgram, for me, it was okay because I'm 3-3. We got both tested after that. And that was a light bulb went on. I said, well, wait a minute, what is our APOE? So I asked my doctor to write me a APOE genotype test. And he was kind enough to give me this testing, even though he didn't know what the test was for. And I explained him, and he was convinced, and it's very, very good indicator for also later part of one's life, predictability of dementia or Alzheimer's. People who carry 1 copy of 4 has a 30% chance of dementia. If you read Dr. Dale Bredesen, he mentions in his book and in his videos as well. So, but if you carry double copy of 4, means if somebody is 4-4, then that 30% probability of dementia or Alzheimer's in the later part of one's life increases to 90%. So, but again, think about it. People look at this 30% and 90%, they don't see the silver lining in it. Because people who get 30% probability of dementia, the 70% don't get it. So what are those 70% are doing? We have to think about that. That's a positive thinking, that what are those 70% are doing? And if somebody is APOE 4-4 and they are not getting it, those 10% who are not getting it, what are those 10% doing it? And Dale Bredesen goes into detail. So basically, APOE genotype is another marker to have better understanding that what is your risk disposal in the later part of the life. So my wife is 3-4. Now that answered me that why she came low at the cellular level, because she was clearing too fast. That 100 microgram was not enough. Now we know that there is no dosage set up yet, according to the health guidelines. There is no such thing exists. Actually, there is no such thing which is a common doctor would even know what is the vitamin K2. But based on what I've been reading, Dr. 𝗍𝗲𝗏 at Maastricht University in Netherlands, he is the authority on this subject. And based on what I have read so far, I think vitamin K2 is going to be a next blockbuster, just like most misunderstood vitamin. It has lots and lots of application in human health. So we are just at the surface level yet. But I don't have time. Yeah, I have to catch up, because we are living in a cutting edge technology and knowledge society. So we have to tap that knowledge, not 30 or 40 years later when the medical industry is going to be norm. By that time, it's too late for me. So I started giving my wife quite a bit more. And since then, since 21, we did another DEXA scan. So her osteopenia stopped progressing at 2 locations. That's a good sign, very good sign. Because, if it doesn't go, the T-square doesn't go in the negative further, it means that it has stopped. It means that, she's getting enough K2 because I increase her dose. She's eating natto as well. So she's in the range of probably 800, 900 microgram, 8 or 9 folds than what she was taking before. And I'm same way, I increase, even though I was okay, but I increased because there's we don't feel any side effect, nothing whatsoever. But I will give you a flag here. But if somebody gets tested, APOE genotype 2-2, their clearance rate is very slow. So make sure that if you take K2, you don't take MK7 form. Now, there are 2 forms available in the marketplace. One is vitamin K2, MK4, and the other one is MK7. MK4 half-life is only 4 hours, and MK7 half-life is 72 hours. It stays in the system, in the body longer. Longer the half-life is, it stays in the system, our body longer. So it means that MK7 is not good for people who are APOE genotype 2-2, because I've been seeing a lot of people, when they take K2, MK7, they feel palpitation. So what happens that, if they take daily basis, based on the literature, if they take on daily basis, the body is not clearing because it's clearing slow, it's going to back up. And then it's going to give you some, side effect. So people who are APOE genotype 2-2, based on the literature, they are better off with MK4 because it clears fast. Now, if you are 2-2, the only way we are going to know that what type of APOE genotype we carry is we need to get tested. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime test. Whatever I inherited from my mom and dad, so I get 1 copy from my mom and 1 copy from my dad. So I'm 3-3. This stays with me until I'm alive. This thing is not going anywhere. So this is it. I cannot change it. It's given. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime test. It's a very excellent test to know because it plays huge in lipid system as well. Because, it depends on how dietary cholesterol affects based on your APOE genotype as well. So make sure that people, I say that, a lot of people say that, dietary cholesterol doesn't make any difference in one's body because, it works everybody the same. No, we are all different. We carry, each and every one of us carry different genotype. But I'll tell you one thing, based on the world population, about 70 to 75% of the world population is 3-3. 3-3 is a very common genotype. About 12 to 14% is 3.4 or 4.4, and the rest is 2.2. So very few percentages of the entire world population is in 2.2, 3.4, or 4.4. But it's better to know what we have got. So this is a very important area, and I thought that I would shed some light on it. Maybe somebody will benefit out of it, I just wanted to make sure that if you are taking vitamin D level, vitamin D supplement, make sure you are taking appropriate measures along with the vitamin K2 as well, because this K2 is going to activate those K-dependent proteins, which is Matrix Gla Protein. And I've mentioned in my case that in 2024 I stopped my calcium progression, because remember that from 100 microgram I jumped my dose to almost 500 microgram plus another 300 in 2 tablespoons of natto. So I've been taking about 800 microgram of vitamin K2. With this, I'm going to end this vlog. If I would appreciate if you can put your comments, your questions, your concerns, because this is the channel for community of learners. I'm not doing this vlog for commercial reasoning or anything. That's why I do once a week. Sometimes I don't even do once a week. And this is my journey. This is basically all the steps which I've been taking in variety of areas. You'll be hearing many different topics from me, including personal finance, education. So this is individual's journey for the last 35, 40 years. And this is I'm preserving in the form of vlog. So my next generation, my kids, their kids may be able to see it. So I'm doing it for myself, but not for any reason. Only reason I'm doing it, that share the knowledge so that it doesn't stay with me, whatever I have gathered so far, my best practices, so that somebody can get benefit out of it. Hopefully see you next time with another set of vlog, and hopefully I'll be discussing in that one the supplements which I take and why I take it. Until then, see you.